Welcome back. Well, Jeff Fenech has won 3 different world titles. He vacated the WBC Super Bantamweight title earlier in the year, and it was soon won by the Mexican Daniel Zaragoza. Zaragoza is only one of 3 men who've gone the distance in a professional contest against Fenech. Well, Zaragoza was making his second defence in Forlì, Italy, against the local boy Valerio Nati.
And there he is then, the champion making his second defence there, Daniel Zaragoza, whom I certainly noted in the Moscow Olympics back in '80 when he defeated Britain's Ray Gilbody and Ireland's Phil Sutcliffe. So he's a southpaw stance then. And Valerio Nati, who's 32, he's very well known on the British scene, the EBU Bantamweight champion from '80 to '82 and the European featherweight champion from '87-'88. So he's been around quite a lot, and he defended his championship against John Feeney and won that in Italy. So the Italians have bid to get this champion to make a defence here, because they always think giving their man home ground advantage. In this little town not too far from Bologna. A very confident fighter, Zaragoza, having been the distance with Jeff Fenech and then taken over his WBC Super Bantamweight Championship. That's the division now formed between Bantam and Featherweight. Referee from England is Larry O'Connell. Have you seen Zaragoza before, Jim?
No, this is the first time I've actually seen him box. I can see already that Nati is really fired up. He obviously, his first world title chance is a long time in coming. But he looks confident enough and he's really going for it. Boxing at home obviously going to help him.
Yeah, he's not much of an away fighter, Nati. I remember his only previous bout away from home. He was knocked out by Barry McGuigan. But that was his last loss, and that was back in '83. Mexican fighters normally are good travellers, though, as we've seen with the great Julio Cesar Chavez, and right down the line from Ruben Olivares. You can take them out of Mexico and they can still fight. He's 30 years old, Zaragoza. He's no kid in this business. And he boxed like this in the Moscow Olympics and was surprisingly beaten on a very close decision not to get a gold. And he also did well, Jim, to winning career just prior to the Olympic Games, one of the well-known Lees, as they have a million of them out there, and apparently that nearly caused a riot, but at least he got the decision. So not much more than a dinner gong, really, was it, to end that round? Just as well the crowd weren't on their feet baying for a bit of Mexican blood. So there's the rundown. As I say, a very experienced fighter, Nati, at 32, and you can tell by the looks that he doesn't get hurt too often. So into round 3. And it's just steady stuff, isn't it, from the champion Zaragoza, Jim? Nothing explosive, but confident.
Yeah, some of his movements are a little bit disjointed, but he should be catching Nati a lot cleaner than he is catching him, I feel, because Nati's coming straight and he's not moving his head. Zaragoza certainly has more power than Nati, but at this stage he doesn't seem to be using that power. I think he's going to have to start backing the challenger up and using the power.
Well, he's got to do something. It was his first shot at a world title, Nati, and in his home country. One of the great arenas in Rome or Milan, but they all turn out big support. And the local chambers of commerce and tourist boards, they like to have big-time boxing in their towns, puts them on the map a little bit. Zaragoza's not in, as I was saying, the Ruben Olivares class, Jim, or Chuchu Castillo, and certainly Chavez. But he looks like he holds a punch well, doesn't he? He takes a bit of shift, and he must have done to stay the full distance with Fenech.
Yeah, he's very strong. He has good punching power. His punches that have been landing high up until now, so we're not seeing the full effects of the punch. But I feel he should be trying to back the challenger up. But I think he's allowing the challenger too much leeway. Although having said that, Nati's really fired up. He really obviously sees this as his one and only chance of picking up a world title.
Dear old man Branchini, the sort of Jim Wicks of Italy as a manager. Good long arm puncher, the Mexican. Notice that he doesn't want to necessarily stand on top of the opponent. Uses the reach well. There it is.
He sent home two thumping left crosses, which again caught Nati a little bit high, but stunned him slightly. You could see the effects of the punch.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of a pet punch, doesn't it? The old 1-2, the left and the right, but southpaw style. It's the left hand that does the damage there. He's a former WBC bantamweight champion as well. Take time off. I don't know how much time, about 3¼ seconds there, I think Larry O'Connor was asking for. The warning for misuse of the head. Have a look at that quickly again there, Jim.
Yeah, well, still plenty of aggression coming from the challenger. He's trying to back the champion back. They're really doing quite well.
Into the fourth then. Zaragoza on top, all right. As I say, former WBC bantamweight champion. He was held that in '85. He defeated Freddie Jackson of the USA for that. But he lost to Miguel Laura and now moved up to this division. So many titles to be won now between mini flyweights and featherweights. As I said before, Jim, I think Jimmy Wilde would have won about 20 championships if he'd have been fighting these days.
Yeah, I think we've really gone over the score with all the weight categories and the 3 champions at every weight. It's obviously far easier to win a world title now than it's ever been. So now and again we see world champions who don't really impress us as world champions. Zaragoza, good solid little fighter, but you know, he's not really what you would say one of the real class super champs.
Strange enough, I liked him more as an amateur than I've liked him as a pro, really. He's, as you say, he gets results, and that's the name of the game in this business.
I don't think he's adapted his style to the professional game. I think he's just doing the same things he did as an amateur, only doing them a lot better and obviously for a lot longer.
It's a good, brave stand there by Nati. He's knocking on a bit for this division. I mean, 30 is a great divide at all weights, but certainly in the lower weights. It's Rafael Mendoza, former newspaper man in Mexico, and one of the best judges of Mexican fighters, in my opinion. He's still using the long arm punch that it goes. He knows how to keep the Italian off.
So I get the impression now the Italian's just pushing himself on. I think he's really feeling the pace now. But he's just willing himself and he's making a lot of mistakes now he wasn't making earlier. He's not quite as compact as he was. He's still trying to back the champion up, but he's just losing that little bit of compactness he had earlier on.
Yeah, he's been a pretty good fighter nonetheless as European champion. Nati defeated Billy Hardy in the 4th round back in '85. Danny Lee, Scotland, Steve Cleek, John Farrell. So the Britons haven't done too well with this fella. It took McGuigan to turn him over. As As you say, Jim, first and possibly final fling for Nati, and he's giving it all a go. And apologies all round there from Zaragoza, who doesn't want to get himself into trouble away from home, hostile territory. Well, now what can they do to wind this fellow up a little bit? In replay, Jim?
Yeah, well, I felt that Nati was stumbling onto some punches in that round, losing his composure a little bit, but still putting up a very brave show, keeping himself in the fight and still keeping the champion under pressure.
And there's the rundown for Zaragoza. I wouldn't have thought he's got too many championship fights left in him, actually. Although I've said that before, if they're good enough, they can keep going in this game. And this second's certainly been around with some top fighters in his time. Into the fifth round then, scheduled for 12. And there's the challenger just running out of gas a little bit now. Not ambition, I don't think, but physically he seems to have been wilting just... Oh, what a shot! Right out of the blue. He's been showing him that punch, Jim, that left hand all through. He let it go there, it was perfect, and it really travelled quite a way there, caught him on the chin. Whether it was short or long, he certainly got the message. And it's all over then in the fifth. Larry O'Connell, obviously to the rescue. He's actually counted him out there in the act of rising. And in his second defence there, Zaragoza remains the WBC Super Bantamweight champion. And Mendoza there, look as though he just left the office typewriter, giving him the congratulations. Jim, there it is.
Yeah, a lot of power in that punch, and it caught Nati bang on the chin, and you could see the effects all the way down to the feet. As the punches landed, his legs froze and over he went.
Yeah, Nati doesn't, I tell you, doesn't normally get stopped like that. He's only lost 3 contests, remember, and this was his 48th fight, but there's no argument with that one. No lucky punch about it. And Jim, the final look at it.
Yeah, that was a tremendous punch, and it was bang on target. Couldn't have caught him in a better spot, and as soon as that punch landed, the fight was over.
Well, it'll take a bit to get this fellow to bring him round a bit, and the doctor's in there checking. And there's the winning belt.
So that short left hook after 66 seconds of the fifth round, making it a second successful defence for Zaragoza. Well, now for the result of our competition, where the prizes are 10 copies of the Super Fight video, Hagler versus Leonard. Remember, we asked you at which weight did Sugar Ray Leonard win his first world title, and who did he beat to